Hey y'all, hey. Hey y'all, hey, it's your girl Delisa Robinson. We are on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Zoom. Why are we on Zoom? Because tonight is my study hall night. This is where I meet with my coaching clients in a group setting, and they get to ask all the questions that they would love to ask on any given Sunday, Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so that we can get the questions answered. Just had to throw my do not disturb on because y'all know, like I know, people call and text, and then all my audio gets messed up. So tell me where you from. How's it going tonight? Our study hall, as I like to call it, we are live and sharing. Hi, Teresa. We are live and sharing study hall tonight with the masses. So not just everybody. So you guys will be able to hear the questions, see the questions. Without that, without any further ado, let's get this started. Now, tonight, if there are any questions, just put them in the question queue, in the comment queue. Like I said, study hall is just that. We're here to get your questions answered. We're here to get some information on whatever it is that you guys want to know about real estate. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Lisa Robinson. I am your favorite real estate diva. Honestly, you just don't know it yet. I'm your favorite real estate diva out here in these real estate streets. And I have been in this real estate business for the past 25 years. I bought my first house when I was 27. And I love real estate, just love all of it. I've helped 168 people start their real estate investment business. Some of them have gone on to do other things besides creative finance strategies, which is what I specialize in. They've built portfolios, they've done multifamily. I have two of my clients who are currently hosting six-figure Airbnb businesses. And I have one of my clients who's gone on to do $1 million deals. Like literally, she started $1 million private money fund so that we could, she could be out here in these real estate streets too. So I'm very proud of all of them. I'm very proud of my people who have their six-figure wholesaling business. They're doing that. I got a feeling this is going to fall Instagram. If it does, I definitely will put it back up. But I got a feeling it's going to fall. So tonight is what we call study hall. My coaching program in these real estate streets every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live. Either we meet in Zoom. Tonight we're just on all platforms, but usually we meet in Zoom just to get their question answered. They might have a deal they need analyzed. They might have a question about their Airbnb. They might have a question about their investments. They might have a question about anything and everything that it possibly could be. So this is normally this would be strictly for the coaching clients only, but I've opened it up to pretty much everyone. So without further ado, let's get back to it. And when we don't have questions that people answers and questions, whatever, we do have education. And tonight I'm prepared to present investing in real estate with zero money down. It's been a long time since I actually even touched this class, let alone taught it. It's a long time since I've touched it, but I looked at it today and I was like, you know what? I keep getting questions relating to this concept because I've gone live with a couple of people and we always talk about how to get into real estate with no money out of pocket. So that's why we do it this way. Now, before we get started, my real estate wholesale, the Get Wired Wholesale Academy. You guys are in here. I'm going to give you an update on where you should be, what you should be. Has the workbook been emailed to you yet? No, but it will be as soon as this is over because I just had to finalize a few things on it. Classes tomorrow. Not only will the link to the Zoom for the class will be emailed to you, but also the workbook for this week. And just in case you don't have an idea or you don't know exactly what's going on, I will tell you ladies this. Uh, I will tell my wholesaling academy members this. The workbook for this week by itself, not even counting the pre-work that you guys had to do, the workbook is already 12 pages. So, so I hope you guys are ready to get started. And I wish you guys on Instagram and everywhere else could see their faces because they're like, what? They want no parts of this, but this is what they signed up for. So, yeah, and we are going to be getting your LLCs in order. So the LLC checklist is in there again to make sure we have that. Also, the whole step-by-step process that you need to go through to set up your LLC is in there. I made it general. In class tomorrow, we'll dig deep into the different states that you guys want to have your LLCs in, so you know exactly where they're supposed to be. The Then there's goals, of course. You know me. There's always a goal. And then there's also some little helpful hints here and there, and all the resources that you need to get your LLC set up. Like the link to the EIN, the link to virtual offices, what social media platforms you should actually be on. All that good stuff is on there. So have fun. That's all I gotta say. Have fun, because it's gonna be a good time. That's all I can say. It's gonna be a good time tomorrow. So with that being said, let's get started. This There's no right or wrong answer, and there's nothing that we can do. Keep in mind, I may not be able to see your questions because I'm flipping through screens. Does not mean I will not go back and answer them. So ask away. I did see one question. It says seller financing a land deal. What paperwork do I use if my cousin is the buyer? Same paperwork you use if I was your buyer. The land, if you're doing a seller finance deal, first of all, there has to be an attorney involved. I say this all the time, and a lot of people like to bypass this part. You need a seller. You need the seller needs an attorney. The buyer needs an attorney, because the attorney has to be well versed in seller financing. They have to write up a mortgage, because there's a mortgage lien that has to go on that property for the seller's protection. And it also requires a promissory note. So a lien, mortgage paperwork, a promissory note, and a contract. So that's what you're going to need. But your attorney, like I said, your attorney should be well versed in creative finance strategies, and the attorney should be able to assist if there's other paperwork that they require for whatever particular state that this is in. So, but for the most part, you just need those three. You need the promissory note, you need the promissory note, you need the mortgage paperwork, and you have to have a fully executed contract. And then if you want to wholesale it, you know, you need some other stuff. You need an assignment contract. You need a purchase agreement between you and the seller. Then you need one between you and the buyer. Or at this point, since they both know you're in the middle, you can just do a standard commission agreement and have it sent in. However you want to do it at this point. That's how it is. Hold on 1 second, because y'all about to die on Instagram. Not only is it going to fall over, but it's going to die. See, I'm back. But my phone is truly about to die. There it is. All right. Sorry about that, Instagram, but now you're going to be looking at me a little sideways and crooked, but that's okay. So I hope that helps as far as getting that question answered. If you guys have any comments whatsoever, let me know. Because if not, I'm going to start getting into the content that I was presenting for tonight, which is how. Welcome, real estate investment with little to no money out of pocket. So let's talk about what we got to do here and how we're going to do it. Okay, first things first. We all know we just talked about seller financing and some of the paperwork that you're going to require for seller financing. Let's explain what seller financing is first of all, because a lot of people hear this and they don't understand this. If you're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, share this out, like the video, subscribe. Hi Jackson B, and let's talk about it. So the seller handles the mortgage process. So when you are talking seller finance, first things first, you're going to have a buyer, a seller, and that's it. Usually you have a buyer, the bank, and a seller. Okay, because the seller agrees to sell to the buyer, but the buyer gets the money and they get a loan from the bank. Well, when you do seller financing, the seller becomes your bank. So there's a bank that's popular. Navy Federal is popular. Bank of America is popular. Chase is popular. So say you go out and you get a mortgage from one of these three places. Okay, in a normal transaction will be the seller agrees to sell to the buyer. The buyer will go to the bank, get a loan. The loan pays the seller off, so they're no longer involved. And then you pay your monthly mortgage payment to the bank. That's how a normal loan transaction works for real estate. Well, when you do seller financing, the seller becomes Chase, Bank of America, or Navy Federal. They become your bank. They agree to have money. They agree to your down payment. They agree to charge you interest. The lawyer will set up an amortization chart and send it so that you guys know what's being paid off and what's not at what time, and so on and so forth. There's going to be a mortgage lien on the property. The seller is going to be the lien holder, which is the same thing the bank would do. You are responsible for paying your taxes, your insurance. Okay? You are responsible for any maintenance. You are responsible for all utility bills. Anything that a normal owner would when you purchase property would be responsible for, that is what you're going to be responsible for in this instance. Okay? So that's how that works out. Now, so when you do that, so the seller agrees to hold the mortgage. So they're the lien holder, the mortgage holder. You need a promissory note because you are promising to make these payments. And if you don't make these payments, this is what happens. So that needs to be stated in the promissory note. The contract is the agreement to purchase the property for XYZ LMNOP price, and closing on what time. Same contract you would normally fill out is the same contract you would fill out now. Okay. Now, if there's any other, I don't want to say consequence or anything like that, but if you have anything else, so then what you would do, the seller is agreeing to hold the mortgage. They usually want to cash out quickly. So they're going to say, hey, I'll hold this mortgage for you. You pay me this amount, you pay me X amount for X amount of months, and then we go from there. Sometimes you can get away with no down payment. Sometimes you can get away with a little bit of money down. Sometimes you can they want a lot of money down. It depends on what the terms of the agreement are and what you agree to. Okay. Now, when I say terms, the terms are always going to be down payment, interest, and length of time. Okay, just like a normal mortgage, you have a down payment, you have principal, you have interest, you have a length of time. So that's what you want to know about. The seller can do a partial finance where they hold the note for, say you can only get approved, the loan is 100,000. Y'all know I'm bad at math, so we do round numbers. So if the loan is 100,000 and you can only get a loan for 50, the seller might agree to hold the other 50. Okay, you guys get that? So that's how seller financing works. Instead of paying your monthly mortgage to the bank, you will pay that mortgage to the seller. It's just that simple. Okay, now any questions regarding seller finance? I'm trying to make sure I check. Okay, seller wants $5,000 a year every July, huh? And $500 a month for a total of $55,000. The buyer will be put on deed at closing in September. Yes, the deed will transfer in that case. The deed will, if that's it, that's the crazy terms they agreed to. Hey, they like it. I love it. But for how long though? Is this a 10-year mortgage? 5 years? Okay, so for 5 years, they're gonna for a total of 55. But 500 a month is 6,000. For 5 years, it's gonna be 30. And then 5,000 every 5 years. Every year for 5 years. Okay. I mean, it's not a bad deal, but it's not bad, but that's crazy. Okay. Is it a house or is it just land? I'm curious to know. 10 acres and a mobile home. Okay. That makes sense. If it was me, I'd sell the mobile home and develop the acres. But it's not me. You can sell that mobile home, probably make the 5,000 that you're supposed to put down. I don't know. Might make more than that. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? That's good. So the seller is the bank. Yes, Amber, the seller would be the bank. Absolutely. Okay. The seller will become the bank. Now, the next thing that we do is we have another creative finance strategy that I love to use is a lease option. A lease option is where you are renting to own. That's the simplest way I can put this. You have first rights of refusal if the seller decides that they want to sell. They have first rights of refusal. Hold on one second, Instagram. There we go. I was like, what the heck? That looks really, really dark. My camera was foggy. So what you're going to do in that case is this is called a rent to own, lease with an option to purchase. A lease option is an agreement between an owner and a tenant. We call it a tenant buyer because they're renting and then they're going to own. So it's a tenant buyer. This gives the tenant first rights to the property if and when the owner wants to sell during or at the end of the rental period. Okay, so what this usually requires is a large down payment, and nowadays it's a large non-refundable deposit. So using my same $100,000 house, they might say, hey, 10% down. So you have to put 10,000 down. Then you pay your monthly mortgage payment. You pay your monthly payment every month, which becomes part of it becomes, in some cases, depends on who your owner is. Some of it becomes part of your monthly mortgage payment. The other part is still considered rent. And the 10,000 becomes a non-refundable deposit. Okay. So when you do this and you lease for a year, after that year is up, you have to be able to buy the house out. If you can't buy it out, someone nice like me and my friend Jen will probably renew your lease, but somebody else will be like, you know what? I'm ready to sell my house, and if you're not ready to buy, you gotta move. Your 10,000 is gone, and your monthly payments are just gone too. So you'll be out of that money. So okay, so you're charged a monthly or a yearly premium, kind of like what Teresa just had in that, where she's paying 500 a month, but every July she has to get a lump sum of 5,000. So it's like you're putting the down payment, that $55,000 transaction that they negotiated becomes 5,000 down every year, and then 500 a month every month. So in July you would pay 5,000, and the rest of the month you would pay 500. It's like renewing your lease every month on the lease option. Okay. The only thing is you do have higher rental payments. The end dates are usually within 1 to 2 years, sometimes 3 to 5, depending on the person who is doing the lending and who the owner is and who the tenant is, what type of deal they work out. That's what works. Could that work if you're already the tenant, or would that look different? Yes, it can work if you're already the tenant as well. On a lease option, I'm hoping that's what you're talking about, Amber. On a lease option, yes, it can be whatever you are looking to have. Now, the other thing with that is when you have your end dates, like I said, they're usually 1 to 2 years. I do mine on a yearly basis. I don't know about nobody else. I do mine on a yearly basis. And the reason why is because if I do a 2-year lease and I'm trying to get you out in 2 years, I don't have a leg to stand on. If you became this horrible tenant, I can't do that. So that's what it is. So the contract that you set up will usually have your exit strategy. What do you need for a lease option? Simple. Lease with an option to purchase, you need 2 contracts because the tenant buyer is 2 people. It's one person, they have 2 roles. On the first contract, they need a lease to rent this apartment, to rent this home, to rent this mobile home, whatever it is that you're leasing with an option to buy, a condo, a house, a duplex, whatever it is. You need a lease for the space that they are going to occupy. Okay? Then you need a purchase agreement. And that purchase agreement is going to state, it has to reference the lease. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? If not, here's an example. Delisa and Amber have decided that Amber is going to purchase this property from Delisa. Amber is Delisa's tenant. She is leasing with an option to purchase in 1 year. Amber says, I'm going to give you $10,000 down. I say, okay, but it's non-refundable. So if you decide that you don't want to be in this, you don't want this in a year, you don't get that money back. Okay. Now, Amber gives Delisa $10,000 and she's paying $800 a month. Well, $600 a month. Okay. Well, $800. So she's paying $800 a month for a year, including the $10,000 down. So y'all know my favorite calculator. All right. So we have 800 times 11. That's 8,800 plus the 10,000. That's 18,800. Now, out of the 800, 300 goes towards the mortgage. 500 is going towards her payment, or 800 is going towards her mortgage, depending on what you guys work out. In the lease, it should only have the rental terms. Amber gave Delisa $1,600, $800 for the security deposit, $800 for the first month's rent. Okay. Now, and these are the lease terms. Because we are agreeing for a lease with an option to purchase, it's going to stipulate that Amber is responsible for utilities, repairs, and maintenance. Meaning, I don't have to do any of that. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Okay. I'm making sure. All right. Now this goes even if Amber is the buyer, even if Amber is already my tenant. And this is the agreement. Hey, Amber, I'm thinking about selling your house. No. I want to keep it. What can we work out? So that's how that works out. Okay. So now when Amber comes back and she gives me the 10,000 down on the other contract. So the first contract you're going to have is a lease that says how much her security deposit is and how much she wants and how much her rent is per month, what she's responsible for, just like a normal lease you would do any tenant. Okay. In her purchase agreement, it's going to say, pursuant to the lease that she's paying, $300 a month of her rental payment will go towards the purchase price of whatever you've agreed to sell her this house for. The $10,000 deposit is non-refundable. That goes on the purchase agreement because that's why she gave you the $10,000 for the purchase of the property. Y'all got what I'm saying? All right, y'all smart. I know y'all got this figured out. So you need a lease and you need a purchase agreement. Okay. Now, fast forward to 1 year. Amber's lease is up. She's credit ready now, so she can go out and get the mortgage payment for the remainder of what she owes me. Okay. So we already figured it out. Amber's paying $300 for 11 months. That came on to be $3,300 plus the $10,000 that she gave me. $13,300 is what she's already given me. Okay. Now the purchase price, because we don't want to be bothered with a whole bunch of numbers, is $100,000. So you subtract 13,300 from the 100,000. Amber now needs a mortgage of $86,700. The mortgage company is going to say, you need to put something down. Amber's going to say, oh no, I already put 10,000 down. Now, this is where you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, divas and dudes, have to know, yes, that $10,000 is non-refundable. So you don't have to keep it in escrow because it is non-refundable. That means it's already in your money. But you do have to keep a canceled check to give to the bank to prove that Amber gave you $10,000. Because now she needs a loan for $86,000. She's really taking out a loan for $100,000. Remember that. So you have to subtract $13,000. Her deposit, her down payment is the $13,300 that she gave to you. So you have to keep track of every rental payment and the deposit. You can't just show a $10,000 deposit in your bank statement. It has to be a canceled check, and that has to be given to the bank. Okay? Y'all got that? Because I know some of y'all gonna go out there and say, well, Delisa said, and Delisa didn't say that. I'm telling you what I said. Now, 10,000 down, non-refundable, was a deposit. You can take that money, cash that check, and do whatever you have to do with it. But you also have to show, and you can, at this point, you can take a canceled check you can take a personal check from Amber for $10,000. Or you can take a cashier's check for $10,000. But you have to keep that cashier's receipt and get a copy of the canceled check from Amber and a copy of the check going through your bank from your bank. Y'all got that? Always CYA, or keeping it clean for social media. CYB, cover your butt. Okay? Because now what happens is Amber's going to go to her bank. She says, I need a $100,000 loan to get this house. They're going to say, okay, Amber, well, you qualify for 150. I don't need 150. I need $100,000 to get this house. Okay. Well, in order to qualify for the 100,000, you're going to have to put something down. How much do you have down? Well, I've already put 13,300 down to the owner of this property because we did a lease option. Then you show your lease agreement, you show your purchase contract, and you show the closing documents and all this. Now we get ready to put closing documents together. Okay. So this is how this is going to work. So now she only needs 86,700. The bank is going to say, well, the house is worth 150, 86,000, no problem. Your credit qualifies, you qualify, you've already done your down payment, you've proven you gave the bank a copy of the canceled check. So you're good. Right? Right. So now you are going to go through this process of underwriting with the bank. And they're going to cut me a check for 86,700. And you now own the house. That's how lease options work. Okay. I hope y'all on Instagram and everywhere else except my Zoom. I hope y'all taking notes because these are not staying up today. All right. So everybody good? In the lease option to buy, who pays the taxes? The tenant. But no, I'm saying it depends on who you agree are going to pay the taxes. I'm going to be honest with you. I would pay my own taxes until the deed transferred over. Oh, she's raising bees. Okay. She wants to make her own honey. Okay, I get it. I'm all about that natural living life. Okay, so where am I? So that's how we work lease options. I got about 10 minutes to talk about this next one, but I know it's going to take me more than 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop right there. Coming back tomorrow, it's going to be during the day. I'm telling y'all that now because I got a lot of things going on tomorrow night. And we're going to start with collaborative investments, and we're going to start talking about how you can partner up. We're going to talk about collaborative and JV agreements and how you can partner up with other people to make this work for you. Okay? All right, so I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to go back to my Zoom. Let me see. Do I have any questions over here? I'm on like perfectly explained. Okay, thank you, Amber. Now, for my people who are in the Get Wired Wholesale Academy, this week is a big week. It's our first week. We get started. We're doing business formation, business structure, business funding. So those are the three things we're going to be talking about this week. Now, the workbook is coming to your emails in about 20 minutes after I get off of here. I hope you did the pre-work because that's going to help us run through everything a little bit smoother tomorrow. Also, on Thursday, Miss Kyra is coming in and she's going to talk to you about business funding. She's going to she's going to give you some cheat codes and some pre-steps because she and I have been talking for the past week and she's been gearing up to get you guys the information. She's going to show you how to get funded. Okay. I have a hard money loan lender that's going to come in during the process of this. And I think she's actually one of our boot camp members. She does private money and hard money loans. She's going to tell you guys what hard money loans look like and how you can still wholesale your wholesale deals, even if your buyer is financing using a hard money loan. You can still get paid. We're going to talk about that. So this academy, 12 weeks. We start tomorrow. We're going to go through all the way through September 30th. And we will be back at it. So that's where I want to stop now. Tomorrow, we are going to pick this up with collaborative investments. Telling you now, I'll probably be on during the day. For those of you who didn't get the notification that I was on, that's my fault because I completely lost track of time, rushed to get on, and totally forgot that I was supposed to send you guys a message, and I totally forgot. I'm sorry. That's my fault. Okay. Now, the last question I had, are there any other questions pertaining to lease options or seller financing? Okay. Now, next week, believe me, tomorrow I'm going to pick this up on a live stream. But next week, we will be in study hall Monday night, 7 o'clock. And you can come into the Zoom room and talk to us live and share your thoughts. And we're going to do a whole bunch of stuff. So thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. So that's where we're going to end it today because I can't be on here past 7:15, and I know for a fact it's going to take me more than 7:15. It's going to take me more than 15 minutes to tell you guys about collaborative investments because as soon as I said it, I saw Liliana's face go, "What?" And and I saw Teresa go, "Huh?" And so you could kind of figure like, "What? What do you mean collaborative investments?" So we're going to talk about that, but just to give you an idea, it's when you combine your strength with someone's weakness, and we're going to get this done. And let me give you some ideas on how you can do this as a real estate agent, as a wholesaler, as somebody who just doesn't want to be involved at all and stay hands off. There's a lot of different collaborations that you can make that'll make it worth your while in this process. So, any questions before I sign off? Any questions? Questions? Amber, you could have been in the study hall Zoom with the rest of them, but you flaked out. It's okay. Now, for my people who are in the academy and in the coaching program in these real estate streets, this will be added to a portal and you will be able to replay it if you need to. Okay? All right. Alrighty, guys, I am going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate everything that you do, and I appreciate it every time that you come. Remember, I tell you guys all the time, you can choose to be anything you want in this world. I just hope you choose to be kind, because at some point in your life, somebody was kind to you, and it's always just cool to pay kindness forward. Not only does it make you a better person, but if we all did it, make the world a better place. So I am out of here. I will see you guys mañana.
Recording stopped.
And